All right.
What's going on?
My co-pilot tonight did not want to finish the song, so she's the boss. So the young one says. I also welcome to another night of war. I'm a little off the game tonight. I've dealt with a 6-year-old for last week, and then a sick wife in the other room. So
Hey, man.
I seem a little tired this evening. A little slow in my responses. It probably is actually happening.
No problem, man. I mean, you gotta be super Gumby, gotta be adaptable, and she's part of the show. You're starting them young. That's good stuff.
Absolutely. But we are war. We are resilient.
We are resilient. We are war. Oh, there we go. That light's working. Look at that. Let there be light. How are you doing, man?
Doing all right. Just got the little one. Emily, you want to say hi to everybody?
Oh, that's a great age, man. It's a great age. They're so energetic and full of life, and they still like you.
Pop.
Yeah.
Oh,
she's used to seeing Nanny or Papa when she looks at the camera and sees other people.
Jeremy Downs is checking in, saying he'll be on the Gulf War Side Effects podcast next hour. You got a link for that, Jeremy? We sure would like to have it.
Heck yeah, we'll absolutely share that.
Absolutely. So who do we? Oh, go ahead, Mikey.
I believe just a short while we should have the gentleman from Hidden Battles joining us, because this weekend they've got their 22 for 22 coming up.
Okay.
Which is going to be up in New Hampshire.
Nice.
And we're supposed to be doing an aid station and a water station for the event as Hellfish Haven. So it's a good event because we enjoy it's one of those ones where you can get to know the people that you're walking the hike with. That you can go not knowing anybody and can leave knowing a handful of new friends.
What happened to toxic chemicals after Desert Storm? Gulf War Side Effects. Meet your host. Okay, I got the event up, so thank you, Jeremy, for sharing. And who just... Somebody just picked me.
Yes.
Oh.
Go ahead, Munchkin.
All right, we're good.
What do you need? You need I gotta grab a quick cool pop real quick for the little one.
Yeah, no problem, man. No problem. It's all good. It's all good here on We Are Resilient. We Are War with Hellfish. Oh my God. Hellfish Haven founder, executive director, Michael Geary, 40 Mike, and I'm Travis Partington, host of Oscar Mike Radio. So this is just like a cool thing we do. We bring people in, we talk about stuff, and the audience is part of the show. So Jeremy Daniels was telling us about this Gulf War Side Effects podcast coming up to tell his story. Very interested in that, Jeremy. Thank you for sharing. And sharing is caring. One team, one fight. I love it.
Absolutely. I mean, the only way that we're gonna increase our knowledge and increase survivability of our community is to share that knowledge that we have. Never been a fan of when people want to keep, the knowledge to themselves and keep it like as it's a resource trade. That should be spread always. Whenever I try to learn something, I try to be able to share it with as many folks as I can.
So what do you got coming up for Memorial Day, man? I don't know about you, but all of a sudden, like their stuff starts like Thursday night and goes all the way through Monday. It is a full weekend.
It does, and it's tough to decide one to go to. Like, I feel like, do I break the bend and go with a new one? And I think we've got Scott jumping in now.
Hey, kids.
Scott, welcome.
Scott, good evening.
Good evening. Sorry, up in the mountains. It took me a little while.
No worries.
The mountains. I like the mountains versus the beach, Scott.
Me too.
And are you up there in preparation for this?
Matter of fact, I am. Yeah, I came up. I had to grab some stuff on the way up in Concord, New Hampshire. So I did that this evening, and then I just got to the cabin. I'm unwinding. And then got Chris is coming up, and we're going to strategize about tomorrow. But that Captain Rowdy's coming up, and we're actually going to set the course up tomorrow, the 22K. Oh.
Nice.
Yeah.
So
do you know where you're gonna have the different stations will be at everything?
Yeah, so it'll be the same as last year, which is going to be awesome. We have I'm not sure if like your audience knows, but like we're one of those nonprofits that like to share information and let everybody know what's out there for the veterans. Because what's our mission? Our mission is to help veterans. It's not me helping the veterans. It's us, exclusively. Like everybody's got to do their part. And by networking with you guys and us, it's the only way this thing is ever going to happen. So, yeah, we have a couple different other nonprofits going to be there. I got Hellfish is going to be there. We have Badger Wilderness is going to be there. At Liberty Connections and Lad Farms going to be there. There's a group called the Highs and the Lows Touring Group. They're a bunch of cyclists. They're going to be there. So it's a good eclectic group of nonprofits and organizations that are going to let veterans know exactly who's out there and who's helping.
Will there be some events for the smaller ones out there too?
So this year we don't have anything. We're having our before and after at the Hebrontown Common, which is so nice. So the little ones can run around. There's a little park there, but other than that, some of the locations, I'm not sure what the theme of some of the water stations are going to be. I know usually everybody comes up with a different theme. And I know last year Lad Farm set up a theme where it was like a Hawaiian type of photo booth and other stuff that was going on. So, Delta Dog was there last year. And they set up like a Christmas stop. So they had somebody in a friggin' a snowman's feet, sweat his butt off,
Oh my goodness!
I'm not sure.
It looks like it's going to be good weather for the hike, though.
Yeah, I just saw it, and so we were sweating it all week because it was saying chance of rain. But now I'm just looking. Now it's saying mid-60s, cloudy.
Yeah, we heard you too.
I can't not complain about that at all.
Scott, just for people,
Patrick, are you coming up?
Just what's veterans advocacy like?
What was that?
What about now? I'm just curious, what's veterans advocacy like in New Hampshire? What are the needs veterans have in New Hampshire?
Oh my God! So since we serve Mass in New Hampshire, but there is a huge difference between the two. where in Massachusetts it's better for money. Veterans get a lot more monetary incentive for being a veteran. But I think in New Hampshire right now, the nonprofits are working better to actually cast a bigger net to grab the attention of the veterans and get them into programs that are needed. There's a lot more coalitions up here in New Hampshire than there is in Mass. And I think Mass needs to get on board with the fact that we're not competition with each other and that we need to start networking and working together. I mean, I just recently went out to the Clear Path out in Devons, and they're getting the mission. VNOC they're getting it. And then a lot of the smaller ones that we all work together, like us and Hellfish and 22 Mohawks and, Specialist Matthew Pellini Fund. So we're all working together, but I think it's in Massachusetts. I think the need for that, and I'm going to tell you what I think the biggest need is for all of veterans. I don't believe that it's healthcare. I don't believe that it's food and housing. I believe that it's education. I believe that we need to educate our veterans to let them know that there are people and organizations out there doing the job that they need them to do. We all sit there and say nobody's doing anything for our veterans, and that's a lie. There are tons of people doing stuff for veterans. We're just not educated to who's doing the work for the veterans. We're not educated to the fact that, Mike, how many times you meet somebody in a town that you've been serving, and they go, "Who's Hellfish Haven?" You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that happens to us so often that when I get veterans and they're like, "Oh, I need help with housing," I'm like, "You call Harbor Care?" No, who's that? Or I need help with funding. I need some help with rent. Well, have you ever heard of this organization? No. And then that's what I think our problem is veterans just don't know exactly who's out there and what people are doing for them. And I think until that happens, we're kind of walking in the dark with no flashlight, but like I said, we're trying to do our part. We're doing a big event on June 8th with the city of Lowell, where right now I have almost 35 different veterans organizations coming in, and it's a free event with free food. And we've got at least one representative from almost every topic of need for veterans, whether it's education or mental health or substance abuse or service dogs, equine therapy, financial, help, or even financial education. We have VSOs coming up. VA outreach is coming up. I mean, we have a whole bunch of different organizations that literally, if you're walking there and you see something, you go, "Oh, what's that about?" You're going to meet an organization that may suit your needs. But if not, we hope that you meet an organization that may suit someone's needs that you may
Right.
know,
Right.
And so that's the event there. And then you also have the Heroes Meetup too.
Yeah. I mean, we're busy, but it's needed. We do our Heroes Meetup every Tuesday night. And that's for veterans. And even we welcome their spouse to come, because I know that a lot of the times the spouses need an ear, they need an advocate. Because, listen, we all, as veterans, we think that we're perfect, and we know we're not. However, we'll never admit that we're not perfect. So when it comes to us doing things at home and our loved ones see us doing it, we'll, most of the time we're like, "No, you're crazy. I don't do that," until we get together with, the spouse in a room full of veterans, and they're like, "I noticed that he does this, and he says I'm crazy because I see him do it, but he says he doesn't do it." And we all go, "Yeah, he does that because we all do that," So maybe once or twice a year, we'll get a spouse that'll come in and look for help. And then what they'll do is they'll actually advocate for the veteran or the first responder that's there and say, "This is realistically what he needs. He's too proud to say that he needs help with this. Well, this is bothering him, and he feels that he should be stronger. And, he's a pussy for feeling this way or having these problems." And it's usually them telling us that he has the problem, and it's not him, So by them coming in and being the advocate, we can kind of point them in the right direction, or seem to, start talking things out with them and say, maybe this is what we should do, or maybe this is how you should handle that. And I think that's great, because where we're peer support, we're not judging, where a lot of people are still leery about going to clinicians, because we're just therapeutic. We're not clinicians by any means. We're not licensed social workers, nothing. And I think that we're easier to talk to because we're relatable. And there's a lot of that judgment free where they feel someone's staring over the clipboard at them and drawing stick figures and shit.
You never know what they're always writing.
Never. Hi.
One of the things that I get asked, Scott, is the aspect of a lot of veterans programs aren't clinical, which means they could be ineffective or effective.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how I feel about that. I'm like, if you're doing something, it's better than nothing, especially if the veteran doesn't know how to approach the VA system or even private care and get the help they need. So, clinical or not clinical, I'm not sure it's important, but I know it is. You know what I'm saying?
So I think like everything, not every shoe fits every foot. I think that there is a place for clinical. I think there's a place for therapeutic. I think there's a place for peer support. I think there's a place just to sit and chew and chew the fat with your brother or sister and talk about what's bothering you. I think it's on different levels on where we should address what needs you're looking at. There's guys who process post-traumatic stress a certain way, and there's ones that just can't process it because maybe the trauma is too high or it's too relatable. So I think that you have to kind of find out what fits for you. Oh, bless you.
Bless you.
And I think until you really get into a community that you can actually speak freely, I don't think you're ever going to find which shoe is going to fit your foot, because you have to figure out what your needs are and what's going to help you. Because a lot of the time, if you're not trying anything, you're not doing anything. Where you can come in high, or you can come in low. But if you don't come in at all, what good are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where I think recreation definitely plays a big part in things too, is, having that, not even recreation therapy, but just, recreation between, building up the camaraderie and, having a sense of community again.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing. We're listen, humans are pack animals. We do better in a pack. If not, you're writing a manifesto in some log cabin up in the middle of nowhere, because your mind's playing tricks on you. But I think when you do find that community, whether you're in a community of, and it doesn't matter what your profession is, you could be, an accountant, but accountants speak the same language. They understand the same struggles. They understand that tax season is a nightmare for them, that they work 20 hours a day, whatever. And then after April 15th, they can slow down a little. They speak their own language. Veterans, we speak our own language. We have our own mannerisms. We have our own habits. We have, our own damage. A lot of us have the same damage, And I think when you're relatable and you get together with that community and you start to talk things out, whether you're bowling, you're sitting around having coffee, or you're playing cornhole, or you're playing video games or board games, or watching NASCAR together. It does not matter. When you're in the company of your own people, you tend to do better because psychologically you put yourself at ease, right? You're not on edge. You get to sit there. You get to relax a little. All your stress levels start to come down. Your body starts to perform the way it is, and it's supposed to. And that's healthy for you, for you to escape and do that. Whether, so it's like when you get in the car after an argument and you put the music on, you drive brainless, you're not thinking of anything. You're just enjoying the moment. And I think when we're around each other and we laugh and we joke and we talk about that 10% of the military service that was a blast and we laugh about everything, I think that puts us at ease and it actually helps us mentally. And that's something that you might not find with the clinician. But you might be able to go to the clinician and get that same, that same feeling because you're at that level.
Right. Well, I think one of the things that's interesting is that I hear from Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, Scott, is it's easier to do it in Mass because there's more people down here, and it's harder for me to do it in these states because it's spread out. Or you can literally go to a cabin on the mountain and lock yourself in and be alone. Much easier in New Hampshire than Mass, right? So How do you get around that if you're a veteran trying to build a community?
So the good thing about New Hampshire is not like Montana, you know. I mean, we have our seclusion place, but we're not driving 6 hours to see our neighbor. You know,
True, true.
we have three major cities right in southern New Hampshire. And I think when you do find your community, whether it's in the Nashua or Salem or Concord area, even Manchester, you know, that's what you need to do. You need to realistically use social media for more than bitching about stuff and more than just like talking crap to people. And somebody posts a picture of their kid and you're just talking crap about a child. Like, use social media for what it's designed for. Look for those groups that find you interesting. There's rucking groups, there's kayaking groups, there's everything. Man, you can go on Drinking Bros New England, right? And make the best connections because people all over New England, and we're all like-minded. Um, yeah, Massachusetts has a bunch of different things, and they're a lot closer. Massachusetts is relatively a small state. Um,
Mhm.
it's highly densely populated in certain areas, but where we serve Merrimack Valley in southern New Hampshire, man, we have Lowell, Lawrence, Haverhill, Methuen, Nashua, Hudson, Salem. Like, we have all these cities all in this one little small area. No invisible line in the sand should prohibit you from going and joining a group, and saying it's Massachusetts or New Hampshire. We fought for America. This is an American group. Don't say, oh, because I live in Mass, I can't go to New Hampshire. That's bullcrap.
I hear what you're saying. I'm buying what you're selling. You're not wrong,
Yeah.
but you'd be surprised. Well, he's from New Hampshire. I don't know if we should let him in, guys. He's from Maine. What's he doing down here? And you're right. We all serve in the same flag. It shouldn't matter.
Yeah. So, listen, I get the main thing, but as far as New Hampshire goes, we come down and we just have to remember that we can't bring our firearms with us because they're really restricted in Massachusetts. But other than that, listen, it's the same. We're the same knuckleheads, on both sides. And I have the privilege of having an office in Massachusetts but living in New Hampshire. So it's the same. But I will tell you, there is no difference between Mass and New Hampshire. And I'll relate it to this. All right. Massachusetts could be the Marines, New Hampshire could be the Army. We're going to fight with each other. But when the Air Force comes over from Connecticut, we're just really going to pick on them. So you
True.
can literally take New England and make it into the 5 branches of service, right? Obviously, Rhode Island's going to be the Navy. And
That's right.
think about that, right?
Yeah, you can. Absolutely.
Vermont is definitely the Air Force.
Yeah. So, or Connecticut, one of the two. But
Yeah.
I would say Vermont, probably Space Force, because they're kind of out of it.
Oh, true.
But realistically, think about that.
I forgot the Guardians
right?
exist now.
Yeah, but think of it this way. Sorry, Jeremy. In the military, what do? We pick on each other because of the different branches. However, but if anybody messes with the family, you're messing with,
Close
the
ranks, man. Close ranks, move to combat.
And as New Englanders, you can get anywhere in New England in under an hour, right? We can hit every state with under an hour. So realistically, we're just one big state. And when people say, oh, Massachusetts or New Hampshire, whatever, I don't know one VSO from Massachusetts that'll ever turn a person from New Hampshire away.
Right.
I don't know any organization. Like I said, Massachusetts, the state offers monetary compensation for serving for different programs, where New Hampshire doesn't. And I think that's the only place that you're going to get turned away from something. Other than that, home base ain't turning you away because they're in Massachusetts, right? I'm not.
But they can't do virtual therapy.
Exactly.
If you're over the state lines with some clinicians.
Yeah, but that's just licensing.
Yep.
So.
But they'll still take you in and they'll provide the services to you.
Yeah. But but realistically, that's the only difference. I mean, if we want to make up an imaginary line, well, it's not imaginary, but if we want to cross an invisible line in the sand and say we can't do something because it's in another state, you have bigger problems than that. It's not necessarily the state line's your problem. I think it's your problem is you're trying to find excuses on why you're not getting into a program. And we always find a reason for it, whether it's money or location or whatever. And, where being therapeutic and I mean activity driven. And like Mike, we can pick up and go anywhere, you know. And that's the beauty about what we have. We can reach a bigger audience, and we eliminate that why I can't do anything. You know, I can't do it because it costs too much money. No, we've eliminated that. You know, we pay for everything. We don't, we're not charging you to do it. We're taking that away. I can't do it because I have to find a babysitter. No, you don't, because you can bring your kids. You know,
for sure. That's so important too. The fact that some of these orgs are saying, you know what, we can bring kids to these events and make it family friendly, and that really helps out a lot, because if you have young kids, it's hard to put all in one parent.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and especially if you get the single parent, right? Because listen, you have single parents, men and women, and whatever you want to, declare yourself. But now you don't have to worry about getting a babysitter, because we have programs you can bring your kids. And you can't go, oh, I can't because it's my weekend with my kid. No, you can, because now you're doing something productive and making memories with your kid, and you're also doing something for yourself, because you're around like-minded people who can probably understand. I mean, as veterans and first responders, we have a high rate of divorce. Believe it or not, the only reason we know that is because somebody paid to have those studies. Nobody's ever had a study paid for to find out why librarians are so, have a high divorce rate, or doctors have a high divorce rate, or teachers, or whatever. It's just first responders. Somebody found money and decided to do that thing. However, if you are a single parent and you're bringing your kid to an event on a weekend, people aren't going to go, oh, here they come. No, they're going to go, oh, yeah, no, I can understand. I can get that, and it's good to be around people who understand that.
Very nice, very nice. Memorial Day is coming up. You have this event going on. Is there anything else you're doing for Memorial Day weekend?
Believe it or not, I actually am doing something for myself. Our family, we're going away as a family vacation. We haven't done this in years. Hidden Battles has really consumed a lot of my weekends. So yeah, this year, myself, my wife, my daughter, my son, and my daughter's boyfriend, we're all going out to New York for the weekend.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's part of it too. I mean, it's an important holiday and everything, but part of the reason we have that holiday and we can do these things now is because of what was done for, those in memoriam. So enjoy.
You know what, too, is I think a lot of the time when we're doing so much for other people, we forget to take care of ourselves,
Yeah.
And as much as we're saying, oh, no, we're taking care of ourselves, we do push ourselves, aside, and which is, it's us by nature. We do this all the time. But I think when, you come to the point where you're like, this is getting heavy for me. I really need to recognize the fact that I need some of my time. I got to do something, separate myself completely from the nonprofit, and just do stuff to just absolutely take care of myself and my family. And that's what we had to do this time.
Awesome. Well, Mikey, it's that time. I got to get ready for 8 o'clock tonight, and I got something after, and then I got something tomorrow morning. But Scott, great meeting you. Great hearing your perspective, man. Hope to meet you in person here real soon one day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks for coming on and rapping with us. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. I love
you guys.
If
you guys don't have anything to do this Memorial Day weekend, I just dropped a link in there of things that you can do in the Boston area for Memorial Day.
Nice.
So thank you, Scott, for coming on tonight. Travis, who do you got coming on next?
I've got Brandon McGarver from Stonebridge Financial. And in Pennsylvania, they're having a veterans charity raising clay shoot. I wish I was there this weekend. And so he came on and talked to me about how he went to West Point, served in the infantry, got out, got into financial services, which is not a really common one for us veterans, and now how he's given back. And it's a really good story. And then tomorrow morning, I record number 400 of Oscar Mike Radio. So there's just a lot going on in a short amount of time.
Heck yeah. Well, congratulations. And we will definitely be looking forward to hearing, 400 and hearing from you tonight at 8.
All right, my man. Thank you, and hope your wife feels better, and your daughter was absolutely adorable tonight.
Thank you. We'll talk to you guys soon.